Our next topic is temperature scales. In temperature scales, we will study about the different scales that are used to measure the temperature. And scale means there will be graduations, there will be markings, and it gives us a measurement. Okay, so whenever we talk about scale, we talk about measurement. So there are different scales used for measuring temperature, and each division on the scale is known as one unit of the scale. Okay, so one unit of the scale is each division that you see on the scale. The different scales which we commonly use are Celsius scale, Fahrenheit scale, and Kelvin scale. Okay, they are the most commonly used temperature scales. So we'll study about it one by one. Celsius scale. The unit of Celsius scale is degree Celsius, and it is read as degree Celsius, degree C. Okay, on this scale, the freezing point of water is taken as 0 degrees Celsius, boiling point of water is taken as 100 degrees Celsius. The temperature between these 2 points is divided into 100 equal parts. Okay, the scale was developed by Anders Celsius. So in these three types of scales, you will learn only, you have to remember these as points. There's nothing to understand, you just have to remember the points. Who discovered it? How do you write it? Okay, how do you read it? What is the boiling point and what is the freezing point? And how many divisions is it? How many divisions are there? Okay, 100 equal parts. So in the Celsius scale, it is read as degree Celsius, and it is written as a small 0 and a C. And then a freezing point of water is taken as 0 degrees Celsius, and boiling point of water is taken as 100 degrees Celsius. And the temperature between 0 and 100, so it is divided into 100 equal parts. Okay, divisions are between these 2 points, that is 0 to 100, we have 100 equal parts. And the scale is developed by whom? Anders Celsius. Similarly, in Fahrenheit scale, the unit of scale is written as degree F, and it is read as degree Fahrenheit. On the Fahrenheit scale, freezing point of water is taken as 32 degree Fahrenheit, and boiling point of water is taken as 212 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, and between these 2 points, how many divisions is it divided into? 180 equal parts. So remember that. And the scale is developed by whom? Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit. Okay, Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit. Next is Kelvin scale. Who discovered Kelvin scale? Lord Kelvin. Okay, this scale is developed by Lord Kelvin, and it's also known as absolute scale of temperature. On this scale, the freezing point of water is taken to be 273.15 Kelvin, and boiling point of water why they are taking it? They are taking it as a standard. Okay, so that we can compare the other things with this. So on the scale, the freezing point of water is 273.15 Kelvin, boiling point is 373.15 Kelvin, and the temperature between these 2 points, that is 273 and 373, it is divided into 100 equal parts. Okay, and see, 273, 373, what about 0k? 0k is 0 Kelvin, and the value of 0 Kelvin is called as absolute zero. Okay, you will come across this term many times. What is absolute zero? Absolute zero is 0 Kelvin, and it is the lowest attainable temperature in the universe. One cannot go beyond 0 Kelvin, below 0 Kelvin. It is the lowest temperature. Okay, so we have learned about the 3 scales: Celsius scale, Fahrenheit scale, and Kelvin scale. You just have to know how is it written, what is the who discovered it, what is the boiling point and freezing point of water in each. Okay, and how many equal parts is each divided into, right? Next, how are we going to convert the values given in Celsius scale into Fahrenheit scale, or Fahrenheit scale into Celsius scale? Okay, and next, last point is the Kelvin scale into Celsius scale. So how we are going to convert it? Okay, we are given 3 formula. So these are the 3 ways we can convert it. The 3 temperature scales, Celsius, Fahrenheit, and Kelvin, can be converted into one another. using the following relation. So remember this relation now itself, by heart it. Okay, it's very important. How degree F is equals to 9 by 5 degrees Celsius plus 32. I hope you know how to calculate it. Okay, so degree Celsius is equals to degree F. What is the degree F? Do you know? And what is the degree Celsius? Actually, the degree Celsius, in place of that, you have to write the value of the number that you have to convert it into degree F. Are you understanding? Suppose you are given 100 degrees Celsius converted into degree Fahrenheit. How you are going to convert it? 9 by 5 into degree Celsius is written na. In that degree Celsius, you have to write 100 degrees Celsius. The value that has to be converted into degree Fahrenheit. So 9 by 5 into 100 degree Celsius plus 32, whatever value you get is the answer for degree Fahrenheit. Okay. Similarly, if the answer is given in Celsius, how you are going to convert it into Fahrenheit? Or Fahrenheit. See, here it is written. The first formula is written to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit scale. Next, your value will be given in Fahrenheit. You have to convert it into Celsius scale. So they give you any value, okay, and that value you have to convert it into degree Celsius. So it depends, and the value is given in Fahrenheit. Okay, say 32 degree Fahrenheit. So or it can be more, 50 degree Fahrenheit. So 50 degree Fahrenheit, you have to convert it into degree Celsius. How you're going to do? In place of degree Fahrenheit, you have to write 50. 50 minus 32 into 5 by 9. So 50 minus 32, whatever value you get, that has to be multiplied to 5 divided by 9, and that answer is in degree Celsius. So your Fahrenheit is converted into Celsius scale. Okay. Next, your Kelvin, you have to convert it to Celsius to Kelvin. So suppose your Celsius is 10 degrees Celsius. Okay. So 10 degrees Celsius is equals to 283 Kelvin, because instead of 10 degrees Celsius, you have to write 10, and you want to convert it into Kelvin. So Kelvin equals to K is equals to 10 plus 273 equals to 283. So 10 degrees Celsius is same as 283 degree Kelvin. Okay. Now, types of thermometer. We have 3 commonly used thermometer: clinical thermometer, digital thermometer, and laboratory thermometer. Clinical thermometer, you are seeing all these 3 thermometer right in your you can see the pictures there in page number 69. Clinical thermometer, it is used to measure the temperature of human body. Okay, and the normal temperature of human body is 37 degrees Celsius or 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so it is given in Celsius also, it is given in Fahrenheit also. What is the normal temperature of human body? 37 degrees Celsius. Okay, in Celsius scale, and in Fahrenheit scale 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. You have to remember it. Okay, this value may depend, okay, may vary depending on the activity, time of the day, environmental condition, etc. Now, clinical thermometer, no, it is like it depends upon the various factors. Sometimes, suppose you are working hard and you are sweating, that time your body is, releasing lot of heat, you're feeling very hot. Okay, or sometimes the climate is very hot, that time also the temperature shown in the thermometer will be different. So it depends. Actually, the normal temperature of the body of human is 37 degrees Celsius, but if outside temperature is more, so already there will be some errors. Okay, so it depends upon the environmental condition, it depends upon what time of the day you are taking the reading. Okay, so this temperature increases or decreases if the person is ill. Okay, our next topic is digital thermometer. Digital thermometer, it does not contain mercury, so there is no risk of mercury being released on breakage. So even if it breaks also, mercury is not going to come out of it, because there is no mercury itself in this thermometer. The temperature is easier to read in this type of type than in conventional thermometers, as temperature is shown in the number on the display. So in digital thermometer, the temperature directly it will be shown in numbers. Fine, it will be shown digitally, it will be displayed, so there is no problem. Okay, you will not have any problem while reading the person's temperature. Okay, so and even if it breaks, it's not going to really give out. You will not have the fear for mercury to be spilled. Okay, next is your laboratory thermometer. Laboratory thermometers are mostly used where? In laboratories. For what? For scientific experiments. Okay, a laboratory thermometer can be used to measure temperatures which ranges from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. Okay, so it is used to measure temperatures from how much low? 10, minus 10, less than 0. Okay, minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. The next topic is precautions that must be taken while using a clinical thermometer, and then precautions that must be taken while using a laboratory thermometer. So when you are taking the reading, you must be very careful while handling the thermometer, so that you won't get, first of all, the thermometer should not break. Okay, you should hold it properly. Next, you should not read it improperly, you should hold it properly, okay, while reading it. So we'll go through it. The thermometer should be washed before and after use, because you usually put it inside either armpit or somebody's mouth to measure it. So it should be washed before and after using it, okay, with preferably an antiseptic solution. Next is, it should be ensured that before use, mercury level should be below 35 or 95 degree Fahrenheit, 35 degrees Celsius or 95 degree Fahrenheit, because that's a normal temperature. Okay, so it should be below that. Next is, and that is normal, your normal temperature means room temperature, right? The thermometer should be read, kept, and keeping the level of mercury along the line of sight. That means how you are looking at the thermometer while taking the reading, how you are looking, how you are seeing it. It should be like, it should not be, it should not, provide errors while looking at the thermometer. You should not see it slantingly. You should see it straight. Okay, you should keep the thermometer straight, and the line of sight should be straight. Okay, next is, the thermometer should be handled with care, because if it is made, because it is clinical thermometer, it is made with glass. So if it is touched, it touches some, hits a hard object, then it can break. So if it hits any hard object, there is a chance of breaking. So we must handle it carefully. The bulb of the thermometer should not be touched while taking the reading. That is very important. You know why? Because when the bulb of the thermometer is actually, the thermometer is this part, the bulb only will be inserted in the object or the patient whose temperature is to be checked. So now the temperature will be different. Suppose you have taken it from somebody's mouth, temperature is now you are seeing the temperature, reading the temperature. If you touch it, that time the bulb will quickly take the, as the bulb is very sensitive, it will tell you the temperature not of your mouth but of your hand that touched it. So immediately the temperature might drop down or it might come down, so the reading will be wrong. Okay, it will be incorrect. So therefore, while taking the reading, we should not touch the bulb of the thermometer. Okay, hold the thermometer by the glass body, by its body we should take, by the stem we should hold it. Okay, next are precautions that must be taken while using a laboratory thermometer. Handle the thermometer with care. If it hits against some hard object, it can break, just like the previous one. Then we do not hold or touch the bulb of the thermometer while taking the reading. Of course, the reason is same. Otherwise, the temperature, the reading will be different. Okay, as the temperature of our body, alters the reading. Okay, it will change the reading. That's why we should not touch the bulb. While using the thermometer, we should hold it upright, straight we should hold. Okay, the bulb of the thermometer should be completely immersed in the substance whose temperature is to be measured. If you want to measure the temperature of a liquid or a gas or a solid or a person or whatever it is, you want to check it out, that time we should not insert the top, we should insert the bulb. Okay, but in the bulb only you will have the mercury, and from that only, that mercury only will rise to the capillary. Yes, You have already studied about the different parts of the thermometer. So you can imagine it must be immersed in the substance. Immersed means it must be completely covered by you should put it inside the substance whose temperature is to be measured. Okay, the bulb, not only it should touch, we should not touch the bulb, but and the bulb also should not touch the vessel or the container in which the substance is kept. You are going to take the measurement or reading of the liquid or gas or whatever it is. Okay, you're going to take the measurement of that substance, not of the container in which the substance is kept. So we must be very careful that the bulb should not touch the container in which the substance is kept. Okay, otherwise it will give you the temperature of the container instead of giving you the temperature of the substance. Okay, do not insert the thermometer suddenly into boiled water and suddenly into cold water. What will happen? This may break the bulb of the thermometer, because increase and decrease of the temperature will affect the temperature of the thermometer. Okay, and it is denoted by the mercury in the bulb. So now bulb is in one temperature, and suddenly you will put it inside the hot water, and suddenly you will put it inside the cold water. So there is a sudden change. You already know that whenever a substance is heated, it expands, right? It expands. So sudden expansion and sudden contraction of the substance might break the substance. Okay, therefore we should not insert a thermometer suddenly into boiled water, suddenly into cold water. Next we have our revision zone. So please kindly do the true and false, and we will discuss it later. Thank you.